Before we get started, I'd like to introduce some of my fellow law enforcement partners up here on the stage with me, and I'll go one at a time. You all heard from Chief Deputy Allen, so next we have, as far as our chiefs, St. Lucie County Sheriff Richard Del Toro and Martin County Sheriff John Butenseek. Thank you all for coming today. We also have several chiefs from some of our northern cities here in our Miami AOR. First of all, West Palm Beach Assistant Chief Tony Shearer, Palm Beach Gardens Chief Dom Pape, and Port St. Lucie Chief Leo Nimzik. So thank you all, gentlemen, for being up here and for joining me today to announce the results of this targeted law enforcement operation focused on violent crime. You all in the organizations you lead are crucial in the success of this effort called Operation Viper. Some of you all may have recalled that we held a press conference in late June to address the results of Operation Viper conducted in Miami-Dade and Broward counties. Based on the success of that operation, we shifted focus to the northern counties of the FBI Miami's area of responsibility, specifically Palm Beach, Martin, and St. Lucie counties. This is the focus. A team of special agents, intelligence analysts, and professional staff to work directly with our partners, beginning in mid-July through late September, which enhanced our ongoing efforts to combat violent crime. The foundation of this operation builds upon the mutual respect and cooperation that is inherent between law enforcement agencies at every level in South Florida, especially those agencies standing with me here today. FBI Director Kash Patel made crushing violent crime a top priority for the Bureau. For FBI Miami, that means bringing our highly trained people and world-class capabilities to aid our partners in their efforts to combat violent crime. And let me be clear, they know their streets and their communities better than anyone else. They have put in the hard work in identifying and building cases against the most violent offenders. Our role as the FBI is to augment and assist in getting these violent offenders off the streets. The results benefit our communities and make them all safer. To borrow a quote from Director J. Edgar Hoover, the most effective weapon against crime is cooperation between law enforcement. And the results speak for themselves. 48 arrests and 23 firearms seized in this phase of Operation Viper. But our work isn't done. Violent crime will remain a top priority for the FBI. And we'll continue to keep our foot on the gas with additional operations planned during the coming months. And in conclusion, the men and women of South Florida's law enforcement agencies are hard at work addressing violent crime, and they are all to be commended for their dedication and professionalism while performing these dangerous operations. We encourage anyone who may have information about violent crime or gang activity to come forward and to report it. This information is vital to our ability to keep South Florida safe. And now my colleagues are open to address any questions that you all may have. So this was joint operations, right, between the FBI and the agencies you see behind me. But so nothing was run in a silo, right, or in a vacuum. So some of these guns, yeah, they're either illegal guns or taken off of violent offenders in possession of a firearm. So whether they are a convicted felon or not, it's still going to be used in the commission of a crime. So all these guns were either used in a crime or in possession of somebody who's prohibited from possessing it. I don't have all the evidence in front of me, and I don't want to go into too much detail on the evidence itself because all these cases are still being adjudicated, and so I'll let that process play out as they all go, into the court process.
And I guess I just am curious as to how you guys picked out which areas to target in West Palm Beach, Martin. What neighborhoods? How were you operating here? If it was based off tips or search warrants, just kind of how this all came about.
So for our part, it's very intelligence driven. And so we look at things like heat maps, crime statistics, and just deciding which neighborhoods are the most active in terms of violent crime, right? Whether that's calls for service, shootings, non-fatal homicides, or non-fatal shootings, homicides, wherever that may be, we're targeting those specific areas. But within those areas, we're targeting the most prolific offenders, right? So though, I think anybody knows, I mean, 10% of the people creating 90% of the crime, right? We're after that 10% that is just in and out of the justice system and just those habitual offenders.
Sir, can you talk about the cooperation a little more with federal and the state here? Because you got so many different agencies behind us. How important is it to have that cooperation between everyone here? Because there's different cities, communities all behind you.
No, it's vital, right? So I'll give you an example. There are over 1 million uniformed police across the country, right? Maybe 12,000 FBI agents across the country. So we can't do our jobs without our state and local partners. I mean, I said earlier, right? They know their streets, they know their communities better than anybody else, better than we do. So that cooperation, not only numerically, but also intel-wise, is critical for us to do our jobs.
Can one of the sheriffs, maybe Sheriff El Toro, speak on that, cooperating with the FBI and stuff like that?
Sure. I think Chief Deputy Allen said it best. I mean, this is just the result of, local law enforcement working with our federal partners and just showing the impact that we can have. I know I can speak for our agency. Prior administration didn't have a good working relationship with our federal partners, and I think that really did a disservice to our community, especially in the northern end of the county where we see a lot of violent crime with gangs. And we're just so happy now to have that working relationship again. I mean, I had that relationship when I was at the city of Port St. Lucie, and to carry that over now to the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, I think not only does it have an impact right now, but in the years to come.
And you mentioned that some of these suspects, that they're repeat offenders. What are some of the crimes that they have been previously charged with?
So again, that's kind of getting into some of the charging decisions, and since these cases have not been adjudicated yet, I really don't want to get into specific subjects or criminal histories or things that could be weighed or factored into a charging decision or anything like that. So.
And these 48 arrests, they're from all of the counties combined. Are they all still currently in jail, as far as we know?
Their current status, whether they've bonded out at some point or still incarcerated, I couldn't tell you for each of the 48. So there's a mix in there.
Can we expect any more arrests to come out of this operation?
Yeah, there's still operations being planned and being carried out. And so, as I mentioned earlier, we have future operations in the coming months. But as far as Operation Viper, yes, there are still arrests being made by all these agencies behind me as a result of of this operation.
Of the 48 arrested, do we know if anybody was here illegally?
I don't know. As far as I know, I don't have that.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
thank you all.